Hey everyone, welcome back to the review of Forbidden Door AEW Cross New Japan. We have Campo with us right below me. We have Putty off to my right, and right below Putty, we have Caps. Putty, you're in the dark there a little bit.
Oh well, it might be. I don't know why it's doing the light that way. Whatever, just got to deal with it.
Whatever.
And did I wore my Star Wars shirt? Is this the right day?
It's okay. I got
for the wrong episode.
I got Johnny Gargano going the whole shebang.
Oh,
Johnny Wrestling.
I thought we were doing. I'm sorry, wrong.
Yeah,
podcast,
wrong.
sorry.
This is the Obi-Wan review, right?
I'm sorry, I got confused. Okay,
but yeah.
Next time we're Avengers.
Exactly. I'll have all their stuff linked in the descriptions below. You can go and follow them. But most of you guys here already follow them anyway, so. Most of my followers are
I might follow myself.
Yeah, exactly. Have you ever Googled yourself though? See, don't be dirty. This past Sunday we had AEW Cross New Japan's Forbidden Door pay-per-view. So as we've been doing the last few weeks, few months with all the other pay-per-views, we're doing a review and going through our thoughts and some of our highlights, some of our lowlights, and offering up our rating and our match of the night at the end of the broadcast. So without further ado, let us get into it. I did not really watch any of the pre-show. Campo, you said you caught all the pre-show, and Putty, you said you caught some of the pre-show.
Well, let's put it this way. I don't know which one it was, but I'll say this. I didn't know the wrestlers in one of the match, which could have been the first one. I said, this is literally what I wrote to Campo. Don't know who these wrestlers are, but I just saw a Discount The Rock attempt to do the Diamond Cutter. Laugh my ass off.
Okay, that's Aaron Solo.
Yeah, he looks like The Rock, like a Dollar General version.
It's either that or Showtime Ricky Starks looks like a Discount Rock as well.
It's the one that did the Diamond Cutter, and they literally said it out loud.
Yeah. That's Aaron Solo. Believe it or not, Bailey's ex-fiance.
I believe it.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't catch that match. Then I caught the second half of this one which was added at the last minute, was Lance Archer versus Nick Comoroto. It was supposed to be a three-way tag, but I think because they already had too many or I don't know, but it was originally supposed to be a three-way tag. Lance Archer was supposed to be part of that, and they made it a singles match, and Lance Archer goes over. Really means nothing. I haven't seen Lance Archer in forever, so. The third pre-show match was Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland against Suzuki Gun, El Desperado, and Yoshinobu Kanemura.
That one I remember distinctly. And Keith Lee, I was just happy to see Keith Lee again and Swerve, even though they had little, drawbacks, but they work together. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so. They do work well together. They're a decent little tag team. I like the whole, the two small guys are trying to take down the big guy dynamic.
Yep.
And Keith Lee needs to find a lighter shade of Just for Men. That's one of my notes there. The fourth one, which I thought which was another really silly match, which was Max Caster and the Gun Club against Yuya Uemura and the New Japan Dojo of Alex Coughlin, the DKC, and Kevin Knight. Not much of that one either. Kevin Knight is pretty athletic. My notes here say Alex Coughlin. I like his mustache. He had a really, really neat mustache. And we had an appearance at Danhausen that distracted the Gun Boys.
Yes, that was probably the best.
The Ass Boys.
Thing.
The Ass Boys. Yeah,
that was the
the
most
Ass
entertaining
Boys.
thing. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say. Most entertaining thing. Yeah.
That was the most entertaining thing. Well, what is there another match?
No, those were the four pre-show matches.
I want to just take Putty's "This was the most entertaining thing" and say that was by far the best buy-in that AEW has had maybe ever.
In terms of match quality, yes.
Every match was amazing. Even the Lance Archer match was exactly what it was supposed to be. It was two big hosses just friggin' feeding each other, jumping over the ropes and stuff. I don't know what that was all about.
Yeah.
So Danhausen was not the most entertaining thing of that.
No, okay.
That match was good.
And Billy Gunn, for 60 years old, that dude can go still.
Billy Gunn was going hard too, but you can see the one thing he can't do is get down from the apron. He has to sit down and then get off.
Yes.
He can't just jump off of it anymore.
But yeah, I think that match was more to showcase Max Caster than anything.
But he's really good, man. The Acclaimed is going to be so good, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
When they're back together.
Is the other guy from the Acclaimed, I forgot his name. He keeps getting hurt.
Yeah, he's had a history of that. Even when he was trying out for WWE, he kept getting hurt.
Yeah, so he has a history of injuries. So with that out of the way, we are getting into the first match of the night on the main card. You had Minoru Suzuki and the JAS with Sammy Guevara, and against Eddie Kingston, Shota Umino and Wheeler Yuta. Shota Umino.
Well, Umino's going to be a star.
Yeah, that's Red Shoes' son, right?
Really? Oh, that's the one that Kenny Omega beat up in the.
It was Jericho.
Match. Oh, Jericho. Sorry.
It was Jericho. Yeah, that's why he was in the match.
So that builds the story even more because I completely forgot that. So there you go.
Because something else happens later in the night with Jericho and Umino.
Yeah, he's gonna be good. He reminds me of like Takahashi.
Yeah,
like in his style of wrestling.
Yeah, he does. But he's a little bit more. He's heftier. Like he's a tough dude. Like he's got some heft to him. He's not. No, but that's good though. Like most of the guys in Japan are smaller guys, so for him being a bigger guy, that's going to be to his advantage. No Tomohiro Ishii, but which I was so disappointed in. But this was a good match. Minoru Suzuki. I don't know whose theme song is more over, Judas or Kazeninare.
Still Judas. Sorry, can't help it. But it's a good song. I'll agree.
But I mean, when like that part, when the whole crowd just chanted at the song, and then goes Kazenin, and then you go Kazenina, and the whole crowd just like went nuts with that. That was kind of a great moment. What were you guys' thoughts on this match?
It was way better than it had any business being, and I believe I even told Putty that at one point. I was not expecting it to be that good. Yeah, and these matches, which I'll get to something later, they have this really good blend with Chris Jericho, where it has like this little tiny bit of comedy, but it's kind of like a really tough match still. And there's all this skill throughout them, and it just keeps happening. And I don't know, I just found it very
This is the best I've seen Sammy Guevara in a while.
Yeah, he finally actually got a chance to wrestle. When Ty's on the sidelines, it doesn't affect him as much.
Yeah, if she's not in the ring with him. And she was kind of sorry.
No, I think you guys are right, because I think Sammy is able to really shine when he's in like one of these tag matches instead of going by himself. So I think kind of a less is more type of thing is going on here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we talked about this. This whole angle was brought about, I guarantee you, by them being maybe even Chris Jericho was like, bro, this guy is too good of a wrestler to go in the direction he's going, because he was failing hard. He was definitely about to get cut from the roster, and doing this move saves him, putting him back with Chris Jericho.
He's not part of the JAS, is he? Or is he officially part of
the Sex Gods?
Well, they've always been the Sex Gods.
But now they're the Sex Gods again.
Okay. So he is part of the
three Sex Gods.
So he is officially part of the JAS now.
Well, for two shows, I think he has participated in sort of their storyline. So I think
is he participating in Blood and Guts tomorrow night?
Yeah, he's in the match, isn't he?
Is he?
I swear he's in the match. I might be wrong. I thought they said that he was.
Yeah, I could be wrong too. But yeah, no, this is as an opening match. This match was a very, very good opening match. Mm-hmm. Jericho, it amazes me. He's still able to put on an amazing show. Even Suzuki like is got to.
Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about him. That was fantastic. Even though me and Putty like were looking through like the ages and stuff, and he's not. First of all, surprised how much older Chris Jericho is than Eddie Kingston. Mm-hmm. Eddie Kingston's only 40. He looks like he's like in his late 50s. But Suzuki looked like 70 years old. He looked like Ric Flair at the end of his career, and he was just wrestling like a champion.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And he doesn't have to do anything, though, eh? He just has to throw like one of those stiff punches, and then
but you know what, though? He can still take a chop, too, though.
Yeah. Oh, that was sick. And then the one moment where they all jumped out of the ring where I couldn't believe Eddie Kingston did, and he went to run, and he's like, I'm not stupid. I'm not going to jump over the rope.
But also, the way he sold for Shota Umino is going to make this kid a star.
They had to, because they need someone to put him over for the American audience, right?
Yeah, and who better than Minoru Suzuki, who's probably one of the most recognizable.
He was the most over person in that match. He got so much hype. Every time he did something, everyone was on it. So,
like, he's a heel, but everybody is taken to him.
Can we just talk about how good Wheeler Yuta is? Like, he's so good.
This kid is going to be a star too.
Yeah, I'm so happy that he got into Blackpool Combat Club, because he was getting like what do you call it? He was getting darked all the time. He kept being on dark, and then he
and
got
now
through
he's
that
going to
and,
main
yeah,
event
good
more
for him.
often. And now with a spoiler we'll get into later in the show, worst kept secret in wrestling, and under the guidance of John Moxley, William Regal, and Bryan Danielson, this kid can learn from three of the greatest like wrestlers of that generation. Like,
I mean, I'll hesitate on a couple of those, but yeah.
Four if you add the mystery opponent for which everybody.
Well, no, I think I know which one Campbell's not counting. Let's put it that way.
Mox.
No.
Yeah, but this was a good match. This was also to determine who has the man advantage going into Blood and Guts, and it becomes the JAS getting the advantage because Minoru Suzuki and the JAS ended up winning this match.
But we know why, because we're going to go into Blood and Guts, and now it's time for them to get their win.
Retribution, exactly.
Yeah. A man short, so.
Yeah. The next match, which was another fantastic match, was FTR against United Empire and Roppongi Vice.
This is a 5-star match. I don't know how they took a 3-way tag.
7.
Okay. This was legit. FTR is the greatest tag team arguably of all time. I'm willing to say it right now.
Yeah, they're clearly making a case for it.
And if they don't win the AEW tag titles and win all 3 titles right now, I'm going to be so upset.
Yeah, it was.
And then I want them to visit, come to their hometown, do a signing, and let me come over there and get an autograph.
But like, I mean, I thought that was legit when they took Dax Harwood away.
I think he was.
I thought that was a legit injury.
I think he really got hurt.
Yeah, we were both talking about the way. Okay, so here's the thing, and I'm pointing this out. When he got hurt, the way the referee acted didn't seem like a thing. Like, unless the acting is that good, because here's the reason why I say that. If you watch the match, Dax actually has a lot of times where you could see him messing with the arm like it's hurting, but you know sometimes when wrestlers are trying to show they're hurt because they're trying to show, hey, I'm working with a weakness, he wasn't emphasizing.
But it was one of those let's pull him out of the ring and take the camera off of him right away kind of thing too.
And this is what happened. I don't know what Putty's talking about because I didn't see a slow build up to the arm. I just saw him do a normal average move and then suddenly he was done. He rolled out of the ring. He's like, I'm getting the hell out of here.
I'm talking about after when he come back into the ring. If you notice when he's got stitched, but you know how, like I said, when someone's injured. Yeah, well, sorry. When he got wrapped up, whenever they get wrapped up, they'll like, if it's a fake one, they'll try to emphasize that they're hurt. If you look a few times, Dax Harwood kind of does it where it's like he does his own little movement, like, but he's not showing it. He's like doing it off like camera, like just a little bit. Like he's not emphasizing, hey, I'm hurt. So it really, to me, it makes me think, okay, he actually did get hurt, and he's not trying to show it. Because if you look at the moves he does, he doesn't show it at all, except when he's kind of like when he thinks the camera's not on him. Does that make sense? Yeah. And that's why I believe it was real. Yeah,
it might have been a slight separation that kind of just popped it back in place. And
I think it was just a dislocated shoulder, and they just popped it back in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Was it just me, or is that one point in the match they were like, "You effed up, you effed up"?
Apparently they kicked someone out of the stadium because it happened again during the Moxley match.
Yeah,
they were talking about it today. I was reading that.
Yeah, but can we talk about that pop Dax got when he returned?
Yeah, if it was a plan, it was one of the best plans ever.
Yeah, exactly.
The injury was planned.
There were 3 huge pops like that tonight. 3 of them.
Dax is an absolute monster. I just want to say this on the Dynamite before the Go Home show. He literally was out there. His whole team was getting their ass kicked when everyone was wrestling at the end. Mm-hmm. And he was the only one still on his feet, running around with a belt, just whipping the shit out of people.
But what I like about these guys too is they're a throwback tag team. Like they're an actual tag team. They're not just like, hey, let's stick these 2 guys together and form a tag. They're an actual team.
But I think you get that out of Romero and Beretta too.
Yes, because they have tag,
and they have really distinct...
Penta and Phoenix.
Yes, exactly. But those 2 have a really distinct wrestling like move set that involves them doing things together a lot. Scissor me, daddy.
Scissoring, yeah.
But they're really nice. Like, and then when Cash Wheeler and Romero did the spike pile driver together, that was really cool.
Yeah, Go ahead, Putty. Sorry.
I was just saying, when it comes to FTR, the one thing I've noticed is they have a very traditional feel to me, but it's more traditional in the sense of how they are and their personality. When it comes to their wrestling style, it's much better than the traditional wrestling, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what makes them so great is they're not overemphasizing their characters. They're not trying to push something that's exaggerated. They're just like, hey, we're here to wrestle. We like the sport, and we're showing that through our moves and
that is their gimmick.
Their
Exactly.
gimmick is they're kind of stone coldy. They're just, I'm going to kick your ass. I'm here just to kick your ass, and that's what I came for.
But it's believable from them, though. That's the thing. Like, you would believe it that these guys can kick somebody's ass. They don't just like, you know what I mean? Like,
well, but at the same time, they're not.
Cap's kind of laughing there.
Well, with I don't remember which one was it, but when that guy laid out that guy that attacked Bret Hart at the Hall of Fame. Yeah, they can literally kick your ass.
Oh, that was Cash Wheeler, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Punched them in the face, laid them out. But I think they modeled themselves after the Hart Foundation and Anderson and
makes sense.
Blanchard.
What's his name?
Well, they did because they worked with Tully and they got Bret Hart to give them. He came out for them at something. What
like when they first debuted in NXT, people were like automatically comparing them to like the Brainbusters, which was Ole and
you can't deny that. And I think it was you that said everything they do is old school. Even their freaking theme song is
it's the best theme song right now.
Yeah, it's
like, every time it comes on, I get so happy. I'm like, yes,
better than another theme song we'll hear later in the night.
Campo literally tells me to shut up when we're watching these papers. He's like, "Shut up, Putty," and I'm like, "But John, shut up, Putty."
Yeah, like it sounds like that was it the Midnight Express theme.
Yeah, it is.
The George.
It's like a updated version of it.
Yeah, it's and last night I ordered a couple FTR t-shirts that should be coming in.
Yeah, nice. I think I'm gonna have to.
I ordered the 7-star t-shirt and I ordered the one with the throwback writing, the FTR with the throwback neon logo.
I like that.
Those. Yeah. So I picked those up. So look for those in an upcoming video. FTR goes over. They're holding 3 belts right now.
Well, and none of us thought that was gonna happen.
Especially when Dax got hurt. I thought they were gonna give it to Romero and. And
that's what I said to him because I'm like, there's no way that they're gonna let what the hell are their names? Cobb
United Empire, Great O'Con and Jeff Cobb.
Yeah, so it's caught on the Cobb. That's
caught on the
regret. What's his name? He made that up today. Brian
Alvarez.
No, Brian Zane. Yeah.
Okay.
So, anyways, but
shout out to Wrestling with Regret.
There's no way they're going to give them the Ring of Honor titles because they very mildly even deserve to have those NJW,
IWGP, World Heavy. Go ahead.
I figured, or I think we kind of both figured that if they did not give it to FTR based on, his Dax injury, that maybe it would end up going to Roppongi Vice, and then it would go over back to FTR and another event or something like that.
Yeah, but I mean, Roppongi Vice would have been the next logical choice only because they made a huge deal about Romero and Roppongi Vice not winning and never winning the ROH championship. They've won the IWGP Junior Heavyweight tag, but they've never won the heavyweight.
That's what
tag
I was
either.
thinking, right? So I was like, okay, and like, I don't really like that tag team, Jeff Cobb and Great O'Con. I'm not a fan. They're gonna get better maybe, but not for me.
No,
FTR is great. I'm really liking Roppongi Vice. I like
FTR is. I'll say it now. FTR is the greatest tag team of this generation right now. They could be held in highest regard of one of the greatest tag teams.
I think they're gonna 3 right now. If they don't get the AEW titles, I promise you they're gonna go get the Impact titles. They're gonna get something else right now. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, to make it 8-star, right?
They have to. They have to. They have to put on belts, and them versus the Briscoes would be a great match
because they didn't make mention, but Briscoes lost.
No, did they?
Jay's out for a while. Jay Briscoe got hurt. Is it Jay or Mark? I can't remember.
Was it after Slammiversary?
It was during Slam. Yeah.
Wait, they lost at Slammiversary?
Yeah.
Who did they face?
I can't remember. I'll look it up in a minute.
No, I swear I watched Slammiversary. They didn't lose.
All I know is the Briscoes don't have the belts anymore.
Okay. Anyways, they don't have the belts. That's fine.
While you look that up, I mean, they also have the AAA tag team championships too. So it's like they have 3 belts with them right now. I think they need to go for all of them. Like they
need to go Kenny Omega and just literally
just wear all the belts.
Yeah.
But yeah, a fantastic.
Even if it's
match.
only for like one match, they
Yeah.
need to have everything just to take a picture of it.
As Campo looks up the Briscoes, we're moving on to the next match. Was the All Atlantic Championship match of Miro versus Malachi Black versus Clark Connors and Pac.
So,
the Good Brothers won. That is right. They did win.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So-
I forgot about that.
My note, the first thing I have here, why is Clark Connors?
Take that why is Clark Connors and say yay Clark Connors, because he went full underdog in that match and it was great.
I still would have liked to see Ishii in that match.
Of course, it would have been a way better match, but you had the whole crowd behind Connors.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I've never seen any of Clark Connors until I watched the Ishii match last week. So
that's all I saw too. So
yeah. But go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say during this match, I was going for Malachi Black only because I wanted to go over to Penta, and I was hoping maybe if Malachi Black got it, Penta would get his chance to take it away from him. But then, of course, I think Penta's gonna more go for the a tag team belt with his teammate. You know what I mean? I think that's
well, yeah, I think that's what they're building up next. Penta and Fenix against the Young Bucks.
And I don't see the Young Bucks retaining their title for much longer.
Yeah, because the reason
they're going to lose it to FTR soon.
Well, see, that's the reason. Well, that's the reason why I stated that, because at least if they do it that way, then with Pac, you would have Pac and then the brothers together, everyone having a belt. They would look really nice when they get together. All three of them together in a match, having some kind of belt.
Penta and Fenix are the type of guys that really don't need a belt. I think Pac needed this a little bit more.
Well, no, I get that.
The longest.
Yeah, well, that's the reason why I'm hoping they get a belt later as a tag team instead, because I think that's what they're going to shoot for eventually.
I think they may be getting the trios belt.
Okay.
Yeah. So this
I think
also
they got it right.
Yeah, I think they got it right too. Pac deserves it. He's one of my favorite wrestlers right now, and he's so on point with his moves. Like his moveset,
he's precise,
fantastic.
Like you rarely see a botch from this guy.
It's true.
Rarely.
The Black Arrow is one of the best finishers in wrestling.
Yeah.
He didn't even do it.
He did, didn't he? Do it?
He did, yeah. But he didn't pin with him. He did the Rings of Saturn or whatever it was.
No, it was a 450.
Was it 450?
Oh, was it?
Mm-hmm. He didn't do it.
Everybody
was calling for it, but I don't think the guy was positioned right. So he did 450.
There were two of them.
Two people
he still looked like he landed awkwardly on him. But he had this is my whole logic behind it. They don't want to put Pac in the TBS or the TNT title.
That's
section,
below him,
and he's not good enough for the world's title scene yet. Like in terms of who he is, not his skill. So they had to create a class for these three guys specifically. Yeah. Right. These guys needed a section to be in, because you're not going to put the world title on Malachi Black.
Yeah. The TBS title or the TNT title, the TBS is the one Jade Cargill has, but the TNT title, the TNT title, that is akin to like the WCW television title, where this is more along the lines now of the US championship, IC championship. This is going to be your workhorse championship, not your heavyweight. Like, you know what I mean? Like the IC was always known as like the workhorses, like Shawn Michaels, Razor Ramon, like all the greats have had this belt. And I think this is going to be their focus on that. Like these are the guys that can go, the workhorses, the ones that are not quite at the world championship level, but they're just kind of right there. Like you said, Miro, Black, Pac. There's so many others in this field that can go for this championship now. And the first feud will obviously be Malachi Black.
Yeah. And it's going to work too. It's going to work with the chemistry of the trios. That it's going to be.
It had to be one of those two that was going to win, and only for the fact that you're going to keep having this rivalry between the two factions, and that belt adds extra heat to it. Because Miro doesn't have any rivalries at all, basically. So having him win it, even though he was amazing, and he's a great wrestler.
I think this is some of the best we've seen in Miro in a very long time.
Yeah, he's really good. He's so underappreciated, especially when he was in WWE. He was treated like a joke.
Yeah, with the exception of Clark Connors, that's 3 ex-WWE guys that they squandered.
Yeah. By the way, Clark is good. Okay, his little run there at the end was fantastic. Yeah. He was just dominating once he put Miro through the table.
Yes. Okay. I'll give him that. But when the match first started, I'm just like, why is Clark Connors?
Yeah, I said that too. Because we're like, he's not a cowboy. He's like a weird safari guy.
He reminds me of the guy from Jumanji, the safari dude.
Yeah, he's like a cross between him and like Crocodile Dundee, but an American guy. It's
Steve
really strange.
Steve Irwin
Yeah.
meets.
It's really strange. It's a really strange gimmick.
But it was still a good match. I
Excellent.
think
At this point, we're off to like the best start ever.
Yeah, and this legitimizes Pac in that division.
Absolutely.
Next we have the dudes with attitudes. It was Darby Allin, Sting, and Shingo Takagi against the Bullet Club of El Phantasmo, Matt, and Nick Jackson, with Hukuleo. Hukuleo being
Frig Hukuleo. Every time I see him, I hate him.
That's Meng's son, though.
Yeah, good for him.
Haku, whatever you want to call him.
Congratulations.
I will say they did a good job, especially with the whole, okay, they're one man out, and then having Sting not come out. Like, I thought there really was something wrong there. You know what I mean?
Bless you.
And so, I liked that they did the whole Sting gimmick and the
Sting, and then can you talk about that splash he did off the top?
Yeah,
of the
he's like 70 years old. What are you doing?
we were talking about it, and it's
but we do that. We say that every time he does that. He went through a table head first.
But everybody's acknowledged that, and now he knows he's doing it on purpose. He's doing it on purpose now.
No,
he's doing that shit on purpose.
I was saying this last night, and it's such a nice thing that he's stamping another legacy without just it being given to him, because with WCW he literally created himself as an icon to that industry. It was his world, WCW. You know what I mean? And then, even though he wasn't that long in WWE, he literally even got Hall of Fame. Like, I'm sure, like Campo was saying himself, Vince is probably pissed off right now that because like he can't take Sting out of the Hall of Fame because it'd make him look bad, but he no longer has Sting. You know what I mean? And then now Sting is doing things that you would never see at his age over here at AEW. This is a man that's literally stamped himself more as a legend than a lot of other wrestlers out there. And he's still doing it. He's still saying, hey, I'm still here and I can still do this stuff and entertain you guys. And I love it. I'm just so happy to see this version of Sting.
And this is what's going to make when Darby Allin finally turns on Sting is going to make it so entertaining and tragic and exciting at the same time, because that's coming. And this is a slow burn. A very slow burn, but that turn is coming.
Something is going to happen, but I can't see why. To me, I know it is going to happen, but I can't see how it would make sense. Like the Christian thing is already...
That don't make no sense.
It doesn't at all. But it's because who's arguably one of the greatest heels of all time? Christian. Who did you just lose? MJF. So you got to replace him with somebody. That's what they're doing. So... But it was so sudden to do that, and I think it's very awkward.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Whatever. Can we talk about the titty twister on?
Yeah. Okay.
And it happens again too.
Some of the stuff was funny. I'm not going to pretend it wasn't, but this is where I was going with the comedy angle before. The Young Bucks aren't unfunny, but their whole matches are just comedy matches. Like they're so good at wrestling. I don't understand how they've devolved from showing off their skills to just doing comedy for the whole match always.
Yeah.
I didn't hate it, but I just don't get it.
And I think that's what's going to make that FTR Young Bucks rematch all the more like, we're just going to beat you. Like basically we're going to, and I'm looking forward, like when it happens, because it will happen, but it
has to. You don't win IWGP gold to not take the AEW now.
Yeah. It still was another good match though.
Yes, it was a good match,
and this refers back to, I don't know, Caps might remember this, but back WCW, the original dudes with attitudes was Sting, Luger, and the Steiners. I think Junkyard Dog was part of that too.
To take on the Four Horsemen, they talk about it. See, this was funny. They literally talked about it. And I gave crap to Putty because I don't even think he got what I meant here.
No, I didn't.
They literally talked about it on WCW, and then Putty gave me a speech about how it's weird that they don't talk about WCW, and I was like, and I made like a joke, and he didn't get it, but I was like, basically, they just did. They just finished talking.
And remember, I think this match too was wasn't. This is where Tony Schiavone came out to do interview because he was absent all night. You had Kevin Kelly, which was so refreshing to hear Kevin Kelly come back.
And
is there heat between Kevin Kelly and Schiavone? Because when he went to go shake his hand, he kind of miffed him.
I don't know, but I can tell you this. This is this is the first time you're ever gonna see this, and it's something that WWE is getting like they look stupid because of it. Okay, you had Taz and the AEW team sitting with the ring announcer for the TV announcer for AEW or for New Japan and Ring of Honor. That's it.
Yeah, but I mean, and Taz wasn't as weird as he sometimes normally is.
When are you going to see a
actually a little
table
bit
with AEW, New Japan, and Ring of Honor all sitting together at the table doing the announcing? Like, what world have you ever seen that in WWE where the ECW and WCW guy came out and were all there together at one point? Maybe WWE bought them.
That would be like Mike Tenay doing commentary with Joey Styles.
Yeah.
And
having the New Japan guy come out and sit with them. So it's like, to me, that was a historic moment. That's epic that
and
even
the thing
happened.
is, too, most of them were commentators in WWE. Kevin Kelly was in WWE as a commentator. Taz was a commentator. Jim Ross, who came out later in the night too, was also a commentator in
Jim Ross is a legend.
It's all about getting people that know what they're doing. Wink.
Yeah. But and like, can we talk about like how even the three of them like worked so well as Young Bucks and Phantasmo? Was it El Phantasmo? They worked so well as a team. Like
the whole thing was good.
Yeah. It was really good.
I would have loved to have seen oh my god, who didn't show up? Who got pulled out of the match?
Yeah.
Sorry?
Which was the wrestler that missed the match?
The guy that got the fever.
The New Japan guy that they pulled out of the match.
Oh, because they put in Takagi. I can't remember now.
They didn't put in Takagi. There was a 4-on-4 match and they took him out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you remember?
Was it Takahashi?
It literally was a license for 4 people on each one. That's the reason why.
So who was?
Yeah, Takahashi was the other guy, and they took him out of the match.
Right, because that's why
Leo got put on the side.
On the sidelines. Okay. I don't remember that.
I can't believe I forgot his name. I'm like, I'm drawing a blank here. But,
and you just mentioned him earlier too.
Yeah, I know. He's he's probably one of my favorite wrestlers in New Japan.
Yeah, and the thing is too, so far, with the matches haven't been that long either.
No,
yes, which was
this match was. So that's why this show seemed to move at a better pace for me.
But I had a theory here, and we'll continue when I get there. But
yes,
learning from your mistakes, I guess.
Maybe
it's about time though, because these matches were all so good. So at this point, I'm already like, you got me.
And the dudes with attitudes go over with Takagi getting the pin, which great match. Next, we have the little interview segment. He's already ready for it.
I was ready literally had it ready the whole time.
We had an interview segment with what's his name there, Shota Umino, Red Shoes' son. They were talking about it, how it must have felt to, try get that, to exact that revenge on Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho, I want to show you the respect, and he throws a fireball in his face. He didn't say that he was a wizard.
So much respect.
Okay, so you can ask Campo. I literally was waiting when he threw the fireball. I was waiting for I'm a wizard, and we didn't get it, and I was a little heartbroken. But I'm like, you know what? At least we got the fireball. But hey,
we haven't seen it in a while, right? So
I don't know, but that's my world. Every single time, it's literally my world now. Whenever he does, I'm a wizard. It is. No, you can ask them. They know how much I love the wizard. That's the one. This is probably my favorite gimmick just Chris Jericho's ever done. Like it's just hands down my favorite thing, and I'm geeking out over it. No, that's why I literally had this queued up. I couldn't wait for this moment literally the whole night.
Yeah, so I knew we had to talk about that before the next match. Then we had the AEW Women's Tag Team Championship match of Thunder Rosa against Toni Storm. Short match. Yeah, I was not expecting it to be this short.
It was a really good match though, but I found it strange that it felt really short. And this one wasn't for any reason. This wasn't like someone called out and was like, "Hey, we got to cut this match." It was just built to be a short match.
Yeah.
Well, I think 2 things. One, I think because and me and Kemp were talking about, because I kept on saying where are the female wrestlers in New Japan, and I think maybe that's what happened here. It was more respect for New Japan, saying we're not going to put, and it's nothing against anybody that's a female wrestler, but I think that's the reason why we didn't get much female wrestling matches this night.
Because I don't think there are. New Japan isn't known. Japan has their own
Stardom
league. Stardom is there. Yeah.
And I think that's why that happened here. But I will state this, and I literally told this to Campo. I like this. I like the relationship between Thunder Rosa and Tony Storm. There's no like hatred to him. I honestly, and I told him I would love if they teamed up and named themselves Thunderstorm. I think that's a perfect name. Thunderstorm. I think it's a perfect name for them.
Thunderstruck.
Yeah, because
okay. We knew two things. Thunder Rosa wasn't going to lose this title.
Nope.
Because she's going over to Japan for a long tour, and they want her to have the belt over there. So, I think this is leading up to something. I think the match was short out of respect for Tony Storm. They're like, we're not going to waste your time having a long, drawn-out match in the mid card of a pay-per-view. For you just to lose, because I can see that when Rosa comes back, they're going to have a huge, epic, like insane match where they're going to go through tables and it's going to be
kind of like like they did with Baker and Rosa and have that huge. Yeah,
it's going to be a big blow-off match.
Yeah, that was and again, short match, but it was good. But this for me, decent, this is where where I started getting a little tired. This is where some of the tiredness
didn't yet. I agree with Kemp on that. Yeah, it was
surprisingly, this pay-per-view had me locked in, and I had not slept at all. I came from a wedding. I didn't even sleep. Yeah.
This is actually the slowest match of my eyes. The Thunder Rosa match was the Tony Storm. Even though it was entertaining, it was, to me, it felt like it was the slowest, but the pacing was so good that they put it in the right spot for it, that when we got to the next match, I was like, okay, I'm ready for something a little different. And this felt different, at least for me. This happened before,
But can we talk about when Tony Storm crushed Thunder Rosa's face on that turnbuckle with her ass? And then they show it in slow motion too, and you see Rosa's face like it was. That looked like it legit hurt.
She goes in so hard. It's one of the most intense moves in all of AEW, because there's almost zero chance that you're not taking some of that.
Yeah, you're eating that.
Mm-hmm.
No, I should.
And she goes fast, but she goes fast too. She runs full speed into that.
Yeah,
I think. And I'm not talking like
Rikishi,
almost full speed, where it's like him pretending to run.
he doesn't get enough steps in to get.
Yeah, he can't. In 2 steps, he's across the whole ring, so he has to pretend to run.
Yeah, but another good match. Thunder Rosa retains, like you said. She's going over to Japan for a long tour, 2-3 months, whatever it is. So they want her to be the champion going overseas.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think, because New Japan doesn't really have female wrestlers, do you think they may do a AEW Cross Stardom pay-per-view down the line?
I think you should. I think you should do Stardom cross AEW rather than remove all of the men out of the equation. Stardom is all females anyways, isn't it? Yeah. So you might as well do that cross with AEW as an event.
Yeah, I would totally purchase that event too. It'd be an amazing show. Because
it would be, because a lot of those Japanese wrestlers in the female division, they don't really get any love until they show up on AEW, because very little Americans are watching Stardom. They're going to watch New Japan, if anything. So I think you only get exposed to them when they come over to wrestle for AEW.
Yeah, very true, very true. But you need to give this crowd credit, though. They knew their stuff. Like, they knew who was who. They knew.
I think that's what you get when you do a New Japan show. You got a lot of New Japan fans came rather than just AEW fans showed up.
Yeah, and you could tell because the crowd was into it. The crowd knew everybody. The crowd in the next match, someone gets a huge pop, but the next match was the Will Osprey versus Orange Cassidy match. It's been a while since I've seen a Will Osprey match, and I forgot how good Will Osprey actually is.
Will Osprey is the most underappreciated wrestler wrestling right now.
Yeah, well,
in the world.
Campo's been showing me a lot of videos with him and everything. And the thing is, though, even though I like him, I have an ongoing joke with him, and I don't like his attitude, but he is a good wrestler. I'm not going to sit there and deny that.
He's such a good heel.
Yeah. But that's what he's good at. He's good at making me not like him. But then, of course, I love Orange Cassidy. I was a fan before, but this match made me even more of a fan.
This match was crazy.
I love the way Orange Cassidy worked in the ring.
It's like he takes punishment, Cassidy, for half the match, which makes that comeback all them so much more. And then there was that one point where Orange Cassidy got that near fall by literally a hair. He
two times it happened. He literally hit the mat with his hand, but there was
and the other thing about Orange Cassidy is, you see that gimmick where he's like doing the whole thing with his hands in the pocket. And for anybody else, I feel like they were like, dude, this is just like, it doesn't work. For some reason, it works for him. He's like an overindulgent Johnny Cage from Mortal Kombat, and it works. Like, I don't understand how it works so well for this guy, but he pulls it off. Like when I see him, I literally see he is the Johnny Cage of AEW, and I love it so much. Like I could see him spotlighting a movie for AEW in that way, just because.
And this was for the IWGP US Heavyweight Championship, which Osprey's the champ, but Juice Robinson still has the belt.
Yeah, because they're pulling their NWO moment where they're not going to let them have the title. So
yeah,
the chemistry was undeniable.
They were
undeniable. I'm a little, like you just brought Orange Cassidy back and he lost.
Yeah, but this did so much more for Orange Cassidy than winning a squash match would any day of the week.
Oh, Cassidy's going to get he's definitely going to get brought over in some kind of New Japan event.
Yeah,
like New Japan saw that match and was like, "Yeah, that's it. That's totally like this was a New Japan match. This was the most New Japan match in this whole thing.
Yeah,
and it had two Western wrestlers.
It was such a good story for the whole match, even though there wasn't really a story. The buildup was just rushing the ring for every Dynamite and
and Rampage,
Yeah.
I would have had Orange Cassidy's buddies like actually come sooner, but. I mean,
and what's
good.
his name? Is Beretta's partner there? The best friends? No, the other guy. Is he still hurt?
Oh yeah.
Chucky T.
Yeah,
Chucky T's still hurt, right? The best friends.
And Orange Cassidy, you guys saying that now that I think about it, I don't want him to go to New Japan because I wanted him to stick around AEW so I can see more of him. But I have to agree because the thing is, his over the top character would really fit in that world because I noticed in New Japan they really like that over exaggerated characteristics even when it comes to the wrestling and even in the character, and it would work so well. Like I think a lot of them over there would be going crazy seeing him over there, and there's
a wrestler in New Japan, I forgot his name now, let me look it up. He's the Funky Weapon, Taguchi. Now he has that same type of comedy gimmick as Orange Cassidy. Maybe we could see a Taguchi versus Cassidy match in New Japan.
Well, I had to look him up, but I mean,
look up Taguchi. He's
yeah.
Ryusuke Taguchi. He it's the same type of like gimmick almost type of thing. He's like like the way like a Santino was or something like that. Like he can go, but his gimmick was a comedy gimmick kind of thing. But
there's another guy in New Japan. I'm trying to remember what his friggin' name is.
Toru Yano.
Yeah, where he calls himself the DVD, the greatest DVD seller.
Yeah, Toru Yano.
Yeah, and he tapes people to the barricades and then moves them out there for the count.
I really need to start watching a lot more New Japan because it sounds like a lot of these characters are what I would like as far as the over exaggerated. You know what I mean? So,
but yeah, a lot of the comedy characters are over the top comedy, but they can still go. That's the thing, and that's why I think Orange Cassidy would fit in with a couple matches in New Japan. They start beating him up at the end. It was a great finish. The best friends, not the best friends, Roppongi Vice come in and, they try to make the save, doesn't come out. And lo and behold, another huge pop, the second biggest pop of the night. Shibata returns.
Oh, that was sick. That was so sick. And he cleaned house too.
Yeah, Shibata cleaned house. Like I haven't seen Shibata in a while. And that's what made this return all the much more, I guess, special. And that's why the crowd popped huge.
That was probably the loudest pop of the night, I think.
This was the biggest, this was the biggest pop. The FTR was the second biggest, and then the third biggest is the debut of that other guy.
Well, the Campo said I didn't know who this guy was, and it was the same situation when he came out when everyone freaked out. I had no idea, so it was one of those things I didn't get to go. Yeah, exactly.
He's been sidelined for a long time,
almost 2 years now.
Yeah,
he's been working with the dojo, hasn't he? The LA dojo.
Which, by the way, the DKC thing, that group is so annoying. Like, who yells out? If I live near McDonald's, do I just yell out McDonald's every 2 seconds? They literally yelled out LA Dojo for the entire match. Like, it was so annoying.
Tim Hortons.
Cool, great. Went to a dojo, fantastic.
But yeah,
sorry.
Yeah, another fantastic match. And every match so far I've seen has been great. There has not been a letdown.
And this got me right back into it. This got my energy up so high.
Especially the close fall, the near falls at the end, and then all of a sudden that quick finish by
But I knew
Osprey.
they weren't going to let Orange Cassidy win, especially after just coming back. And Will Osprey spent so long to get this title. There's no way they were going to take it from him.
Yeah. And his finisher is an Assassin's Creed reference, the Hidden Blade.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Putty loves all the video game references in New Japan.
Well, it's funny. We keep talking. That was the one that he kept on saying, "You love that," and I go, "Yeah, I do." But what makes me laugh about it is I'm always sitting there like, "You can't see the blade.
It's hidden. It's a John Cena style blade. You can't see it."
He's like,
which he's on Raw last night. So the next match was the Zack Sabre Jr. against, originally was supposed to be Bryan Danielson. Bryan Danielson, it has an undisclosed injury, which are not letting you know. And he said he handpicked his opponent. And lo and behold, probably one of the worst kept secrets in wrestling. As soon as he mentioned that he was getting a replacement, Campo, what did I message you? It's got to be Cesaro.
Well, we all talked about it. We literally said, "Oh, they're talking about it all over the internet," and I didn't know this guy at all. I never knew about him from WWE. I never knew him about him here. So when you literally showed the picture a YouTuber used as the introduction to him, and I heard the name, and I was like, "Wait, that's
introduction."
Introduction. That's a new word. Like it was either like for me, it was either there were only two choices. It was either him, or it was either this one, Johnny Gargano. Those were the only two choices available to them as far as technical wrestlers go. For a technical wrestling match, I didn't see too much technical wrestling.
So I want to get into technical wrestling. You know me, I'm a guy that likes a lot of the slow-paced technical matches. This was the match that took me out of the pay-per-view. It was super boring. Even though the work was really good, and
Zack Sabre Jr., oh my God, can we say what a technical marvel this guy is?
Like, he turned everything into something else. But I just want to say, Cesaro, what the hell's his real name? Claudio didn't do one single technical thing for the entire match. So I don't know why they brought him in saying he's the best technical wrestler. He did nothing on the mat at all.
He didn't.
I like for my first introduction, I liked his personality when he went out to people and everything, and the way, like, I was like, okay, I can understand why people like him. But I agree with Campo. Like, during this whole time, I was doing the same thing. Like, he'll do it eventually in my head. I'm sitting there going, he'll do something because everyone's talked about how he's a technical wrestler. And then he
is a very good technical.
But it was weird that he didn't.
Yeah, he didn't do it. It's always these uppercuts and everything.
He's more of a power move set, though.
But he can do wrestling moves. It's just I thought that, just like what you guys are saying, I thought that he overused that uppercut. I was like, okay, how many more uppercuts?
And I agree with you, because later when there's a blow off at the end, he started doing so many uppercuts that he wasn't even hitting people anymore, and they were still falling over.
Yeah, we'll talk about that when we get to it.
It got way overused, but I still think this was a good match. I wouldn't give this match a bad rating. I just think when you look at the grand scheme of this pay-per-view so far, and it got here, it was like, what the hell? What happened?
Yeah,
it's so slow-paced.
I think the reason why, me personally, I think because this is going to lead to an actual match between Danielson and Zach, and Zach is going to be like, yeah, you had your guy come out, blah, blah, blah. He beat me, but he didn't technically beat me. I'm still the better technical wrestler.
That makes sense.
And then Daniel Bryan's like, you know what? Put your money where your mouth is. And
but then again, I've watched many, not in WWE, but in AEW, I've seen a lot of Danielson matches. And he doesn't do anything technical either. He just kicks people.
No, but when Daniel gets technical, he can.
Yeah,
he can. I'm just
saying, for all the talk that they've had now about being technical versus technical, when you watch Zack Sabre Jr. and then you look at AEW matches of Bryan Danielson and you look at what Claudio did, there was nothing technical about it, in my opinion.
But I think that Claudio match was also put together in the last 2 weeks.
Yes, agreed.
Whereas Danielson and Zack Sabre Jr. were probably planning this out months before.
And I think, knowing that they had planned it out months before, they should have did more to show people the technical ability of Danielson. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying he can't wrestle. I'm just saying I find it strange that you promoted it from this angle, but yet no one's seeing it from this angle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that too. The other thing is that
I've seen more technical work out of Wheeler Yuta more than lately.
Yes, exactly.
And can you imagine a Wheeler Yuta versus Zack Sabre Jr. match?
I'd like to see him fight Bryan Danielson.
Yeah. No, the other thing is that I know that Cesaro can do way better than what I saw last night. So
it was an awkward.
It was a bit awkward. I have to say, yeah, it was a bit awkward.
But I have to say, for a guy as absolutely large as he is, he can go. Which I was very refreshing because AEW doesn't have a wide variety of very large guys. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's very few of them that are like the Vince McMahon type of wrestler like he is.
And the thing is, he lets them all go. Miro, Cesaro, Bray Wyatt. Like,
That's great. I would love to see Miro. I would like a rivalry to start between Miro and Claudio. I think that would be a really good rivalry.
But see, if they started that rivalry, that would have been good to put the All Atlantic Championship on Miro.
But they could get one of them could win it in the future, right? Because I think to show off that title, you have to let it go around the European / Asian audience. Don't let the Americans win it.
Yeah. And Claudio's not American. He's Swiss.
Yes, and exactly. And Malachi Black is from Netherlands. And that was a whole good matchup that they had there. Except Clark Connors.
He was the only American.
But it should have been a Japanese guy. So
yeah. So it's supposed to be an international championship. So let's hope this continues. And like I said, I'm looking for big things from Claudio. It was like, I mean, even right off the bat, that first, like he does that uppercut and then puts him right into the neutralizer and almost got a pin out of that. Like, I thought he was going to squash him right there.
I liked how the match went. Like, the story that it told was like, this guy is like a little ant. I can't get him off me. He's pissing me off. And it's like, it seemed like there was no hope for him. And then when he finally got that break to pick him up and smash him on the mat, I was like, okay. Like it was all right. It's just
like that Netflix series with Rowan Atkinson, Man versus Bee.
Yeah, exactly.
I still haven't seen it, but I can't wait for it.
I'm surprised that he didn't use the neutralizer as a finisher.
I think he wants to. He did use it at the beginning of the match.
Yeah,
but I think he wants to debut a little bit something else. I guess like he wants to, because the neutralizer is associated with WWE.
We're gonna see him
uses the swing. He still uses the swing though.
We're gonna see him on Wednesday. So we'll see what he's got.
We'll see what he does on Wednesday. Like again, another solid match, and not that long either. It wasn't. It was under 20 minutes still. So let's keep him that way. And then the next match was the 4-way match with for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. Jay White against Hangman Page versus Kazuchika Okada versus Adam Cole.
Baby.
Vato joined Jay White and left Okada.
So this is the match that number one, this should have been the main event.
I agree.
Number two, this is the match where I thought all of the save time was going to go to. I was expecting they've been building a story.
I think
this was the longest match though. This was the longest match on the card.
But I was expecting a full-on New Japan
21
match.
minutes.
I expected a full New Japan match where
normally they go
55 minutes.
Yep.
And it was going to be huge, long, where people are like literally dying in the ring and then waking up and coming back and then getting thrown through tables, like full Kenny Omega style. And we didn't get that at all.
No, we got the one spot where Okada does the dive over the barricades.
And he barely made it over the barricade. Okay? Yeah. I'm sorry, buddy. You got to get those hops up.
Yeah. Yes.
But it just goes to show you how much Omega actually carried Okada in those matches.
Yeah. Okada was great in this.
And don't get me wrong. Okada, one of the greatest Japanese wrestlers there is.
Like, when Okada's fighting in a match, everyone knows this by now. If it's anyone who's not an undercard wrestler, they get hit with the Rainmaker 37 times in a match. He didn't even pull off one.
He didn't pull one off. No, he didn't.
He didn't even get a tombstone off.
He tried to. Okada Game Spirit tried to go ahead and do it, and he didn't get it. So.
And the cameraman messed up on the zoom out.
No, he got the zoom out.
No, he got the zoom out, but it just he didn't accomplish.
They couldn't go that far in that stadium.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
Putty was like, they better do it. Putty's like, they better do it. They better do it. And he's like, yeah.
Yeah, as
Putty pops for the zoom out.
The zoom out's awesome.
You have to understand, and New Japan, even though I like to make a joke about him, because I've literally, since I first heard about him, I've made a joke about, a South Park reference calling him Okada and everything. But he's probably one of my favorite New Japan wrestlers. I've enjoyed everything I've seen with him. I think it's because he was out of his element in my eyes.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I think in a lot of times when I saw his matches, it was because of Kenny Omega that it made it really good. Like Kenny Omega makes him shine.
I think there's just a transitional thing that like a lot of the wrestlers they had were fine with it. Okada's not usually in this type of situation, I don't think. But he has wrestled in America. Like he had that whole run with TNA when he played Kato from Green Hornet, which was just like really stupid.
I was even making jokes because you know how like over in New Japan when Okada's fighting like Kenny Omega, for example, that when they're doing the whole thing outside the ring, you know, you hear them, the audience maybe say like Okada, you know, Omega.
Yeah, you're waiting for that Japanese commentator to make that.
Well, here's my thing though. I made a joke on it, and I'm like, it's got to be a different atmosphere because everyone's so quiet in New Japan, and then now you're in a world where everyone is literally screaming, and the audience is literally loud the whole time, and so it was just.
I liked how they made everyone clear out from the chairs there because normally in AEW the fans won't move; they'll just all stand there and get in the way. But like in New Japan, they clear everybody out of the section, and that was I like that this audience was ready for New Japan, and that they really were like honest to it, but they still put the AEW spin. But this match should have been way more epic than it was.
Well, I think I know why though.
This match was a vehicle for Adam Page to look amazing. Did you see some of the stuff he did?
Oh yeah,
I couldn't believe
it. Just how he does that buckshot, so fluid, so like
the goddamn somersaults off the top rope were perfect, like perfect.
Well,
absolutely.
I want to say this. When with New Japan, you know how they always have that. They usually say the time limit. This was the only match that literally said at a 60-minute time limit. So the reason because we were talking about it, and I was looking up stuff prior to the thing, saying a lot of people were saying this could run till 12:30, and you know we haven't got to that point talking about the end of the match and what ended up happening. Yeah. But I want to state this. I think that's what was supposed to happen. This is a great match. It's one of my favorite matches of the night. But I think what happened was we were supposed to get a lot better stuff later on. But because of what ended up happening, it got cut cut short
because we all think they haven't disclosed anything yet. But we think that Adam Cole may have been concussed in that match.
So what rumors that I'm hearing everywhere on the internet, we'll get through this quick. Now, first of all, I'll explain the scene. So Okada goes for a Rainmaker, misses. Then Adam Cole falls. Jay White comes in, does the Blade Runner, and then kicks Okada out of the ring and pins Adam Cole and wins. And then he says something to the ref while it's happening, and then he gets up and grabs the ref and tells him something in his ear.
Yeah.
And we all know in kayfabe, a heel is not going to go be nice to the referee and tell him information.
Yeah.
So to me, that came weird. I rewound it and I showed Putty. Because I thought Putty saw it, but when Putty was singing, I'm like, no, you missed it. I'm like, I'll go show you.
Yeah.
But what I heard happened is that Adam Cole was supposed to take a Rainmaker there. And then Jay White was supposed to come in the ring, give the Blade Runner to Okada, kick him out, and then set up a pin. I don't know if he was supposed to win yet, but that was what's supposed to happen. And he just collapsed before he could take the Rainmaker. He fell on the floor.
And see, that's what I'm thinking happened. I think what was supposed to happen was maybe they kick out of the pin, and then this would have been a continued match.
And then Jay White said to the guy that something's wrong. He was supposed to take a Rainmaker there.
Yeah, but we didn't see if they carried him out, if he walked out under his own power. They didn't even make reference to that.
The announcer said he's walking by right now.
Okay.
But the funny part was with the announcers, they didn't see anything wrong with what happened. So they thought the match was regularly over. They didn't even realize that it was like something happened. Then a couple seconds later, they're like, oh, Adam Cole is still on the mat. He hasn't gotten up yet. So, because even the Young Bucks in them came out not knowing even what happened, right?
Yeah.
So, but Hangman disappeared for a long period.
Yeah, he disappeared for a while too. But I don't know.
We knew Jay White was going to win. There's no way they were going to put.
He just won the belt. He's not going to lose it already. Yeah. That's the thing.
Yeah, he's a great wrestler.
He is.
I love his gimmick. His after, if you guys haven't seen his post match interview behind the scenes, it's crazy. He yells at the guy for not hanging up his belt on a rack for him, and then he just goes nuts. He's like, "I come to America. This is what you do to me."
Well, see, I like him altogether. Like when he was over in New Japan and won the belt, I love the whole situation where he kept on yelling at people like, "Say something!"
At Dominion, he was like, "Yes, say something."
Like what makes that so great is because you could tell the difference between AEW and New Japan, and I love that Jay White is literally saying, "I I want to emphasize my character in this by yelling at these people in Japan and say, why would you say, because he's
and then as he's yelling at them,
yeah,
they all clap
exactly.
politely.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, I love that gimmick where he's like, you know, why isn't people doing what they're supposed to in my eyes? And that's what Jay White feels like. He's like one of those characters that's like, you have to do it this way because this is the norm. And when you're not doing it, it bothers me.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like,
totally. Yeah. And so, yeah, I think this match was supposed to go a good 40 minutes. And
it wasn't bad, but you could tell something was off.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's it. So Jay White wins. Clearly, we mentioned that already. That's going to continue. Who knows what's next for Jay White? Who knows what's next for Adam Page? Maybe it's a solo match, Adam Page versus Jay White. A one-on-one.
I think you would have probably seen Adam Page versus Adam Cole again but I think that's not going to happen.
No. If Cole is hurt, then yeah, we may be.
But
not
Page is fantastic. You might see Page make an entrance in New Japan soon.
Yeah, they did announce the blocks, so for the G1 climax.
Yeah, it's the most people they've ever had.
Yeah, we can probably talk about it after this at the end of this one. Then it's the main event of the night. We have Hiroshi Tanahashi against Jon Moxley for the interim AEW Heavyweight Championship.
This should not have been the main event. I like Hiroshi Tanahashi, but Jon Moxley, I mean...
Jon Moxley is not a main eventer. I'm sorry, I don't care what anybody says. He shouldn't even be in the championship title section of AEW. I get it that they love him and that he sells tickets, but he's not a main card guy. He's a brawler he should only take part in matches that are going to be like Anarchy in the Arena. That's where you have Jon Moxley. You don't have Jon Moxley in regular matches where he gets bloody from nothing. Like, what the fuck was that about?
Yeah, his style suits certain people, but I'm sorry, I got to be honest with you. The other guy wasn't that great either.
But he doesn't work with Jon Moxley's style.
No, it doesn't work that way.
I didn't see anything special with him. So
he's a great wrestler.
The one thing I did like was I haven't been. He was when you were interviewing him and when he was speaking in Japanese. He goes, "No, it's not that I've been avoiding you for 3 years. It took Jon Moxley 3 years to get to my level."
Yeah, because you have to understand, this guy is the savior of New Japan. When New Japan was going broke, he was the wrestler that brought all the fans back.
It was him and to a certain extent to Nakamura too.
Yes, and then he put on Okada. He put Okada over, which put Okada on his many title runs. Like this guy, this is like one of the legends of New Japan, and he's a little bit older, and his knees clearly don't work as good as
these.
I could tell.
At one point, like a few years back, they were actually saying that Tanahashi is the equivalent of like a John Cena in New Japan. Like, he's just like this face that the crowd, you want the crowd to pop, here's Tanahashi.
And if you go back and watch his like older matches in the early 2010s, he's some of the first Okada Tanahashi matches were insane.
Let's see, but that's what I'm saying. Tanahashi probably might be my second favorite New Japan wrestler, but I think that's exactly what you guys are saying. There was no chemistry as far as the matches between him and Jon Moxley, and that's the thing. Here's the thing: I'm agreeing with Campo on this because of one thing. Jon Moxley, every time I see him, like even when he became part of this, when they built the over on the WWE the Sentinels, the Shield thing. I can think of the name right now. The thing is I feel Jon Moxley is such a copy and paste type character. He's like the army man that you bought. I even told this to Campbell last night. He's literally the army man that you bought at the discount store just to kill him with your GI Joes. Like, he just doesn't seem like he fits the thing.
I'm not going to be so harsh. He has his hardcore-ness to him. I really like. He has a sort of McFoley-ish without the skill.
McFoley, Terry Funk type of.
But that's his character. There's
too many of those already.
He's a great talker, but he doesn't belong in this title scene, especially when AEW has these high flyers. Like, maybe in WWE, where their title guy's just a big guy all the time, who's not the greatest wrestler.
Well, remember when Dean Ambrose at the time was in WWE and he was the champion, he was like a stale champion.
Yeah, but it's like you can see Tony Khan has a hard-on for CM Punk and Jon Moxley and Bryan Danielson, and they are going to be. I don't mean this to say they're bad, and I hate them. Okay, but you have so much homegrown talent here, like Adam Page. These guys, when Kenny Omega comes back, whoever that deserve title runs. Stop giving it to guys that you just were in love as a wrestling fan. That's like what he's doing, right?
Like when Jericho won the first ever AEW championship, that made sense because you want an established name to be your first champion because there can only be one first champion.
I could see Jericho having another run right now. He's been so fantastic lately.
Yeah, that's 100% what I want to see. Good.
No, I agree with Campos 100%, and the only reason why, like, I'm hoping that they're using these guys as champs is that they can actually make other wrestlers so that they can take the title away from those guys that are established guys.
And that's what I think putting the title on Punk will do is Punk will put people over.
But see,
if again, he likes them.
Well, he's only going to be able to put. Yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
But see, that's the reason I want to jump in and say this. I'm not trying to be mean to Jon Moxley in any way. It's just, I'm not a fan. I'm not big of a fan of Hangman Adam Page or Adam Cole, but at least I am aware of why they're so significant as far as wrestling, as far as personality, as far as charisma. And I know Jon Moxley is a very much a brawler, you know what I mean? And the ways you guys said before with Mick Foley and so on and so forth. But that's my whole point. It's such a copy and paste that when you're putting someone of that stature up there, and I'm like, I've seen this already. Yeah, I know the new people may not have seen that much, but when you're putting him as the main event against Hiroshi Tanahashi, someone that feels like he more embellishes what that Adam Cole, and you get what I'm saying? Like, that's what made me so bothered by this, because I'm not putting Jon Moxley down. I'm just saying I went a little bit different. Like, at least when he was over with the Shield, he had the crazy more, like he was like brain damage. Like, we don't have that with Jon Moxley. He's just more like, I'll kick your ass. And I'm like, yeah, we got that with Stone Cold. Yeah, we got that with Mick Foley. Yeah, like I can go down a line of probably 10 people that we've gotten that. So it's, again, copy and paste. And I'm tired of seeing that when everyone's trying to recreate that because Stone Cold made it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no,
and
totally.
Got it. Let's not talk about copy and pasting anymore. So I honestly, I don't think this is a bad match once again. No. I'm not going to hate on it, but I think if you take the blood out of it, it was a lot less epic of a match than it got credit for.
Absolutely.
This could have been so much better.
Would have been a different match with CM Punk. Completely different match with CM Punk.
I think so, but I also I really would have liked to see Naito come in. He's my favorite at New Japan wrestler. His matches
Naito's
are
hurt though,
epic.
still, isn't he?
Yeah. But that would have been him versus CM Punk would have been crazy.
Yeah. But they put in Tanahashi because Naito's hurt. Like, both these guys in this match were substitute guys.
Yeah, true.
Right? Ambrose, Jon Moxley and Tanahashi. Moxley's in there because Punk is hurt, and Tanahashi's in there because Naito's hurt.
It's just, to me, it's so strange that your automatic go-to was, we need a title match. We're just going to, Jon Moxley automatically gets to be the guy who makes it. Like, what the hell was that about?
Why didn't he go into the Battle Royal?
Why wouldn't you give it back to the last champion, giving him the chance to win?
Or that could have worked. Or have your number one versus your number two in a match instead of, the Battle Royal winner automatically goes through.
Yeah, exactly. And it should have been Wheeler Yuta. But Kyle O'Reilly was great.
Well, see, even out of differences, if you were to take Adam Page and put him where Moxley was and put Moxley where Adam Page was, I think Moxley would have shined in that other match because it's such a different type of
when he has wrestler. To do less, he shines so much more.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. And the thing is if I felt like Adam Page was in this one, then this would have felt more like
it would have been a completely different match.
I got a table spot, so I'm happy. Putty was like, I was calling for the table all night because, like, in New Japan, everyone might not know this, but at a New Japan pay-per-view event, every match someone's going to go through a table,
and the tables over there way more aggressive,
unforgiving.
Yes. Oh my god, I love the New Japan tables.
This match shouldn't have been the main event. And
I agree.
I think the four-way should have been the main event.
And the four-way should have been like an hour-long match. They should have had a crazy epic match.
But
this match should have been probably like the second match on the card.
Yeah.
Sorry,
but the reason why this match was the main event was it also set up at the end. It set up the Blood and Guts match.
It's because it's for the AEW title. They had to make it the main event because they don't want to look less than Japan by putting the New Japan title as the main event.
Because after the match, Jericho comes out with his goons and they start beating down on Moxley and they start beating down on Tanahashi. And we get our no fireballs this time. Kingston comes out, Santana and Ortiz come out, the rest of the JAS come out, and like it's just like this big brawl in the ring. Tanahashi disappeared from that brawl.
Yeah,
he wasn't even there anymore. Like
he just got stomped on the floor for a bit and then rolled out of the ring.
And rolled out of the ring.
Well, see, again, I love Jericho, but I will admit I'm getting sick and tired of this whole like the Jericho's whole team just coming out.
I love it because it's like
that's the one thing I don't like.
Such
that's the
jerks.
Yeah, I don't mind that, but I think you're doing too much.
I think when Jericho gets the shit kicked out of him finally, it's going to make it all that much more sweeter. Like when he gets destroyed at Blood and Guts and he takes the pin, think about how much that's going to mean if Jericho takes the pin
up too between Blackpool Combat Club and Santana Ortiz and Kingston and their little group. I really like how that's like formed into this like thing. Like they should create like a face NWO in AEW. I think that's a perfect group for that. I know you don't want to just make everyone in Blackpool Combat Club, but I mean there should be like some kind of
keep it small. Don't like 5-6 members max. Don't go more than that. But the thing is too, Santana, Ortiz, and Kingston, they have already had a history too in Impact, where they were in Impact for a while too. And like we've already talked about it. Now we have the Bucks and Phantasmo, you have Death Triangle, and you have Santana, Ortiz, and Kingston. You've already got your division for the trios.
I think this is what this is. I believe this is all a setup for that. And now you have a trio in Blackpool Combat Club because Danielson's out.
Yeah. So, and it's like it sets up all these trios, and that's long-term booking, guys. That's the way you do it right.
But this is Kenny Omega. This is right from the mind of Kenny Omega. I'm going to book something that's not going to pay off for 2 years. You're going to wait 2 years for this goddamn payoff. And then I'm going to meet up with my old partner from 5 years ago, and you're going to freak out.
But again, we've never really had a trios championship, which this would be something setting a precedent. Because I was even talking with my parental unit. I was telling her that because she me and her grew up watching WWE, and I keep telling her I wish she would watch AEW because she doesn't watch WWE now. But I said that it's what we used to love when I was younger. It's doing something different, and this whole trios thing seems so much more new and fresh that we need. And like I hope all this crumbles. I hate putting it this way because I love the WWE or used to, but there's such a bad place, and AEW is shining so bright right now, and I'm loving it. I'm loving it so much. So
yeah, it's it was a solid show from beginning to end. It wasn't overly long. Like it was a fantastic show. I think this is the best AEW pay-per-view I've seen.
This is the best pay-per-view I've watched since we started watching wrestling.
Since we started doing the reviews, I think this is the best one. So with that out of the way, Mox is your new champ. What would you guys rate this show?
All right, can I go?
Yeah, and what was your match of the night too?
Okay, so my match of the night was definitely Orange Cassidy versus Will Osprey. That match was so good. That could have been a main event on its own. Fantastic. And so just like when I say that this is the best pay-per-view, I need everyone to know that since I started watching wrestling, and I've watched Slammiversary, I just watched Dominion, I've seen all the AEW since then, I've seen all the WWE since then. This is an 8.4 or 5 out of 10. I'll say 8.4 because I want to leave room for improvement. This is an 8.4 out of 10. And
which you gave WrestleMania Night 1 an 8.1, I think.
And an 8, and I gave Backlash an 8.1 because I thought Backlash did everything better. But this is okay. I'll give this an 8.5. The best match is Will Ospreay, and the worst match in terms of what it was, I'll just say it was Thunder Rosa versus Toni Storm, even though the Claudio
it was still a good match.
Put me to bed.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was too short. It was too short. So I'll give it the worst if I had to.
Yeah. Caps, what would you rate the show?
8 out of 10. Only because the Thunder Rosa match was okay. The false finish, which had to happen with Adam Cole, and I wasn't a fan of the main event. And the match of the night was Orange Cassidy and the other guy.
Will Ospreay.
You cannot. I just want to point something out in that match. Yeah. Putty pointed it out to me. He, off the ropes in the air, Will Ospreay was doing a move on Orange Cassidy, and he reversed the move in the air. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Oh no! And then the other thing I love too. Well, I'll go ahead. I guess jump into mine.
Yeah.
Mine. I was gonna say the same thing. I already had 8 out of 10 in my head. I love this one and everything. And again, same thing. Favorite match was Will Osprey, Orange Cassidy. Everything. Like when you just talk about the off the rope thing. I love how Orange Cassidy laid on the ground, then pounded his hands like he actually fell, faking it, so that Osprey would be like, "Oh, this is the time for me to capitalize," so he can reverse it. But then Osprey reverses like. It was a magical match, and like even though because me and Campo during the whole
even
thing,
when he grabs him by the head and he's kind of doing the kick,
yeah,
and Osprey, and Osprey's just like looking at him like, "Dude, are you serious?" And then he bounces off the ropes and just like kicks the shit out of him.
Me and Campo, I knew Osprey was going to win, even though I told Campo Orange Cassidy is going to win because I just wanted him to win. So I was saying that, but like that was a fun thing too. Me and Campo were both like he was with Osprey, I was with Cassidy, but no matter what, we both liked both of the characters, and it was just I could tell me and him both enjoyed that match so much watching it. And yeah, it's number one. Like it's the most unforgettable one thing. And it's funny. I wanted the IWGP to be my favorite because I was expecting.
I wanted the 4-way to be my favorite too, but
I thought I was going to. But I think because of the mishap, we missed out on some good stuff that was going to happen. Because that beginning, that momentum with all 4 in the ring. Oh man, like it was a hype. Like why is this not the main event? Campo's muted, but. Campo even said that. He said, like, why is it not made event? And I agreed with him, like, yeah, why is it not? And that the 4 of them in the ring. So yeah. Anyway, that I'm going on too much. Osprey, Cassidy, Ocean Spray, Cassidy.
Ocean Spray.
I call him
Orange Cassidy and Ocean Spray. There you go.
That's the funny thing too. I called him Ocean Spray before I knew he was going to be this match with Cassidy. So I was like, he's just mad because he's Ocean Spray and not freshly squeezed.
I'm going to agree with Campo. Since we started doing the reviews and myself as well, Campo, I watched Slammiversary as well. Since we started doing the reviews, this has been the best show I've seen so far. I'm giving it an 8.5 out of 10 as well. It was one of the best pay-per-views I've seen in a long time. One of the best New Japan and AEW. And this is coming from a guy who's been to a lot of New Japan Ring of Honor shows when they've come to Toronto. I used to go see him at the Ted Reeve Arena all the time whenever they used to do the Worlds Collide and stuff like that. And this has been this has brought back some of that magic from when I used to go to those live shows. It felt special. It felt like not a once in a lifetime, but it just felt special.
I hope this becomes a thing.
Yeah, it just felt special.
And it did. I agree.
And this is truly what a pay-per-view is supposed to do, is to make you enjoy what you watch and feel special and
be worth the $50 that I paid.
Be worth the $50 that I pay. You know what? I'm paying for every AEW pay-per-view that's out that we've been reviewing, and I've been paying $50, $49.99, but the 1 cent for the buy-in, so it's $50. They literally charge 1 cent for the buy-in. But for me, I'm going to go in a different direction. Since all you guys said the Orange Cassidy Will Osprey match, I'm going to go with the FTR match.
Oh,
as my match. As my match. No,
the Will Osprey match was better, Putty. Just chill. But yes, FTR was worth it being there.
I don't know. Now that I'm thinking about it,
I just see it to be different because both those matches are on the same level.
Yeah, legitimately, I can see if we see check the Meltzer scale. I can promise you that he gave a good score to Osprey to both of those matches.
Those matches.
Fantastic. And if the injury's fake, the storyline for that match is crazy.
It makes it even better.
Yeah.
It makes it even better.
Yeah. Sorry.
I take away a few points because the shortened 4-way match, which should have been the main event, but then if there's an injury to Cole, and the Thunder Rosa match with that finish out of nowhere was like 10 minutes and that's done. But other than that, like every match, unlike the last pay-per-view, the Double or Nothing, every match on the show deserved to be on the show. Yeah, there was no filler matches, kind of like what we got with the last one. Was it the O'Reilly versus Darby Allin? Good match, didn't need to be on that show. And there was no filler on the show. They kept the matches short, which was a good thing too. Like they weren't overly long, and the pay-per-view was under 4 hours. So
for once,
good on them on that. So with that out of the way, tune in next week when we review Money in the Bank on Saturday. It's on Saturday. Yeah. So what are you gonna say?
Yeah, just in case anybody's wondering, I'll just say it. Dominion was a 7 out of 10, and Slammiversary was a 7 out of 10.
Yes, I agree with Slammiversary.
Dominion, all the middle matches were so boring.
Yeah. But, I didn't catch all of Dominion. I just got
me and Putty watched it, and it was very long.
Yeah,
exactly.
6 hours, I think it was.
Yeah, Slammiversary was good though.
Are we going to
For-
do
I
a
was
review
surprised.
of? Are we going to do a review of every night of the G1?
No, please no.
We can review the final though.
Yeah, we'll review the final because it'll be a pay-per-view event, won't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, and it's 4 blocks this year instead of 2.
Yeah, most wrestlers ever. G1 Climax going to be
Yeah,
sick.
the return of Naito. Naito's coming back. You have here if you want. I got the blocks in front of me. Block
Yeah,
A.
it's like 50 people.
Is it? No, it's 7 times 4.
Okay, go.
28. Block A, you got Okada, Toru Yano, Jeff Cobb, Lance Archer, Bad Luck Fale, Filthy Tom Lawler, and Jonah. Block B, you have Jay White, Taichi, Tamatonga, Tomohiro Ishii, Sonata, Great Khan, and Chase Owens. Block C, you have Hiroshi Tanahashi, Tetsuya Naito, Evil, Hiroko Goto, Zack Sabre Jr., Kenta, and Aaron Hanare. That is Block C is like a sick block. Block D, you have Will Osprey, Shingo Takagi, Juice Robinson, Yoshihashi, El Phantasmo, Yujiro Takahashi, and Dave Finlay.
They set that up so Juice Robinson and Osprey have to fight each other.
Yes, but it won't be for the title.
No, but he's going to get his title back. But I'm very glad I have New Japan World when you just named all of that. But yeah, I think that we're good for this.
Yeah. I think it's going to be one of the best G1 series to date. 20 nights, guys. Basically all of July and August. There goes my summer. But tune in next Wednesday for our next Tuesday, I should say, for a review of Money in the Bank. Caps, you going to join us for that one, or you're not sure yet? No? Okay.
I don't watch WWE.
No, eh?
But
after WrestleMania, he was
we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
And tune in this Friday. This Friday, we are celebrating Canada Day. So there's going to be a special video, wrestling themed video this Friday as well. So tune in for that. I won't give away the surprise, but we'll see y'all next time. Take care.
I want Thunderstorm.
Thunderstorm.